So our presentation is on logging in America by Nicholas Franz,
Louis Narducci,
Ian Keith,
and Daniel Pobielski.
So first, what is logging? So by definition, logging is a process of cutting and processing trees to produce timber and pulp to supply the world's markets for furniture, construction, paper, and other products. So basically, logging is the cutting down of mass quantities of trees in order to provide resources for the common people. But in doing this, logging affects the environment in many ways. So one of those ways is contributing to global warming because there's more CO2 in the air. It causes displacement of topsoil because the roots of the trees are not holding the soil together. And it is also highly disruptive to biodiversity through habitat loss. So, and also in addition to this, according to Chris Rogers, who has a bachelor's degree in biology, the large trucks and machinery used to transport the trees on unimproved roads, which leads to soil erosion and pollution. So in addition to the problems caused by the less trees in the forests, the large machinery and trucks that they use also causes a lot of pollution in the air. So why can't we just get rid of it altogether? Because that would be the obvious answer here, but the logging industry in America is so big that we can't just get rid of it altogether. So the logging industry accounts for approximately 4% of the total U.S. manufacturing GDP, and the industry companies produce about $210 billion in products annually. And also, the industry employs approximately 950,000 men and women, so it's a huge industry, and we can't just get rid of it. And this is all from the American Forest and Paper Association. So the resources that we get from logging we need them every day, and since our populations are rising, it's only going to get more. So we need a solution that can provide the resources needed that we normally get from logging without harming the economy.
Right, so building off what Nick said, looking at this graphic, you can see that logging employs people all around the U.S. It's not just concentrated in one specific area. So just removing it altogether would provide would go with drastic negative effects for the entire U.S. economy. So based on this, we created a problem. And our problem is, how can we eliminate the environmental effects of logging in America without disrupting the economy?
So our first solution is to create regrowing sites where people can go out and plant trees based on, to replenish the losses of trees lost from logging and means of getting timber. And also arboretums, which are like tree learning centers, where people can go out and learn how to plant their own tree, how to maintain it, and the benefits that come along with it. So some pros are it's easy to do and not very expensive. Anyone can pretty much go to their nearby park and plant a tree. It doesn't take much effort. And it's not very expensive. If you go on Amazon, a pack of 1,000 ponderosa pine seeds, which a ponderosa pine is the native tree in northern Flagstaff, that only costs about $14. Another pro is that it informs the public. So you can go to an arboretum and learn all about your tree, what kind of trees grow in that area, when to water it, how far to keep it apart from other plants. Some cons, though, are that it doesn't replace trees fast enough. So if you place a tree there, 2 may be cut down over there, and then you place 2 trees there, and 4 may be cut down. Another con is that it doesn't replace the benefits of a full-grown tree. So let's say you have a ponderosa pine. There may be birds living at the top and a badger living at the bottom. But once that tree gets cut down, those habitats go away. So when you replace that tree with a baby tree, it can't give the same nutrients to those animals as the full-grown tree is. So some implications are we will see a mass increase of trees in parks and local environments. Arboretums will keep informing the public and teaching people where to plant trees and how to maintain them properly. Some limitations are the growing zones. So a tree needs about 5 feet to stay healthy, which means you can only plant about 1,000 trees in 1 acre. And this isn't enough to sustain the amount of trees being cut down by other companies. Another limitation is that arboretums are not very interesting. If you come to a town, you're probably not going to want to sit and learn about trees. You might want to go see famous landmarks or eat at famous restaurants.
Another great solution to our problem is using reduced impact logging techniques, or RILs for short. Some RILs include directional tree felling, which is controlling the way in which trees fall so they don't harm or damage other trees in the surrounding area. Or we could use stream buffers, avoiding the cut down of premature trees, carefully planting, or just taking preventative measures to eliminate wood wastes. These RILs are newer and will be compared to conventional logging, as you can see on the board. The first clear benefit of RILs is that they actually produce a better long-term profit. According to a study done by the USDA Forest Service, researcher Tom Holmes claims that per meter cube of wood harvested, you actually get close to $2 more in profit since there's less wood waste and the operation is just overall more productive compared to conventional logging. And this is actually also supported by Wolf Kilman from the Food and Agricultural Organization of America. On top of that, if we actually implement RILs, we reduce the amount of carbon dioxide going into our atmosphere, which also cuts down global warming. And this is based on a study done by Bronson Griscom in the Global Change Biology portion of the Wiley Online Library. And this is because RILs actually leave logs that are premature alone, so they're able to produce more oxygen as time goes on and they mature quicker. However, there are actually a few negatives associated with RILs. If we go back to the study performed by Tom Holmes, we see that you have to pay about $2 for planning, infrastructure, and training of employees compared to the mere 71 cents that you pay for conventional logging. This is over a 300% increase and a huge deterrent for harvesters and landowners. As a limitation, harvesters don't actually initially want to see a low short-term profit because they think it won't produce better in the future. They want instant results and have a spend less, get more mindset or approach to this specific scenario. And that's why it's our solution's biggest limitation. Harvesters can ultimately decide if they want to implement RILs, and there are no legal obligations, regulations, or laws that are forcing these companies to use RILs despite their huge environmental benefits. Most of the time, they just want to stick to the conventional method because it costs less to operate and they see it as a better approach. Only after a while do they actually realize that it's more strategic to log using RILs. As an implication, we will see a huge boost to the environment. There will be less pollution and carbon going into our environment. There will be more trees left to harvest since the premature ones are left alone to mature, and it can actually become much easier to harvest the trees in the future. With this in mind, not only will the harvesters benefit, the industry itself becomes more sustainable and they're able to produce much more products for decades to come.
So based on what we saw from both these solutions, we decided that solution 2, the reduced impact logging techniques, have more net positives than the alternate solution. So one of the big reasons for choosing this one is that it's supported by both the USDA and the FAO, the Forest Agriculture Organization for the US. And not only that, but we can see benefits to the logging companies that do this as the profits will increase. Furthermore, we believe this will be easier to start using for logging companies right now because unlike arboretums or just planting trees, people have to go out and do that instead of just if they choose reduced impact logging techniques, they're already logging. They just have to change the way they're logging instead of going out and like building sites and planning for that, hiring new people. Also, according to the International Tropical Timber Organization and the Global Forest Atlas from the Yale School of Forestry and Environmental Studies, these reduced impact logging techniques have already shown to be extremely beneficial and profitable in like rainforests such as the Amazon or other forests. They don't have to be rainforests, but other forests around the world. Thank you.
Terrific. I've got a couple questions for you. Okay, let's just start at the left and work our way across. So Nick, how did your group decide to include Lewis's perspective into the final presentation?
So Lewis had a more cultural paper, so we kind of chose to focus more on how logging affects the environment and how it affects the economy. And in our problem, we kind of just used the environmental and the economic lens. So his cultural lens didn't really fit into what we were trying to kind of say, so we didn't really use it.
Okay, good. Let's see. Lewis, in what way did you improve your ability to work with a group as a result of the overall project?
So with this project, it's to improve my ability working with a group. It obviously we needed a lot of planning to get this together. also like bouncing ideas off other people, and you can't just like focus on like what you think is right. You have to like take into account other people's like ideas and just improve on your own from that. And this group really, or the group project really improved these abilities to like look at other people's like what their direction is for the project and like improve using everybody else's ideas to improve like the overall group idea.
Good. Let's see. Ian, in what way did you improve? Oh, no, sorry. Check that. In what way was your team's resolution? How did it make you think differently about the research that you did specific to your paper?
Sure. So I had the historical lens, so I focused more on what happened in the past, and it made me think differently because now we're focusing more on what's going currently, and the solution we chose is something that's starting to pop up more. We hadn't really seen it in the past. So researching the more current solutions, stuff that's going on now, definitely changed my perspective because seeing technologies we have now come into play rather than 60 or 50 years ago, that really changed my perspective on reducing logging and deforestation.
And then Daniel, describe specifically an argument from one of these guys' papers that made you think differently about your individual research.
All right, so Nick had the environmental lens, and he focused a lot about like global warming and climate change and all that. Well, I had the economic lens, and I focused more about the cold hard facts and not so much as opinions. And like, I had to describe more like of the GDP of America, while Nick, I would say he had to focus a bit more globally